My name is Dan Piper. I own Vintage Campers, Peru, Indiana. Vintage Campers is an actual outgrowth of my passion. When I got where I could camp on my own, the only thing I could afford was an old camper. And so I camped with an old camper, restored it myself, and had a lot of fun with it. I actually thought I was the only person in the world who was an old trailer nut. And then about 17 years ago, I was out camping in my 1960 Shasta, and I got talking with a fellow camper about old trailers. I found that there was other old trailer nuts out there, and so I got really excited about it. So I just started buying and selling a few of the vintage campers on my website. After doing that for about 7 years, I found that the vintage campers is where my true passion was. And we've been dealing in the vintage camper since then, and then have just continued to grow from selling them to restoring them and selling parts for them and just doing a full service vintage camper operation. As far as the Midwest, we're probably the only one I can think of that actually does the full service. We specialize in 60s and older. We try to deal in the trailers that employ riveted construction. So basically they're built like an airplane. They have aluminum skin on the outside. That aluminum skin is riveted to studs inside the walls, which are typically aluminum. So the main three that we carry as far as the riveted trailers would be Spartan, Airstream, and Avion. But there's lots of other trailers that we would carry. Curtiss-Wright, Silver Streak, Streamline, Bowles Arrow, Westcraft. There's actually a bunch of them out there. They're not near as common as the Airstream or the Avion or the Spartan, but still very cool trailers. It doesn't really matter if it's the RV industry, the boat industry, the house industry. Things were just built better back then. People took pride in their workmanship. If you look at the name tags on these old campers, it's not a little plastic sticker or a little vinyl label that says their name. It's usually a metal decal that they put some money into because they were proud of it. The older they are, the more wear and tear, more abuse they've had, so the more work involved. But the older ones, there's just not as many out there, so finding a good old one's a good find. My own personal preference is the older the better. As far as restoration, our preference is to restore trailers back pretty much to how they were when they were rolled out of the assembly line in the factory. One of the biggest problems we run into is water damage. So a lot of the expensive work on a restoration is replacing the woodwork in the trailers. We'll upgrade them electrically. The plumbing, we usually just go ahead and replace the plumbing. And then all the cosmetic stuff, the light fixtures, the hardware and so forth. We like to, a lot of times those pieces are missing, so we will salvage old trailers and rescue the old parts and pieces that we can use if that trailer is too far gone to restore. We'll pretty much do anything to them. The only thing we won't do is someone ask us to totally butcher and chop up a nice good unit. We'll say no thanks. Since vintage campers are my passion, I would love to keep them all, but unfortunately I can't do that because of the economics. And so I do have what I call my keepers. I would, like I say, like to not sell any of them. My line now is I sell vintage campers to support my habit of keeping them. And that's a lot of truth to that. The vintage camper culture is definitely growing. I think a lot of the baby boomers like myself grew up camping, had a good time, fun time, and they want to sort of bring back their childhood memories.